Welcome, everyone. I don't know if my video is not on here, I think. There it is. Welcome everyone to this virtual farewell for Sherri Bell. We're going to have some fun and it'll be a chance for people to share their thoughts and memories. My name is Monty Bryant. I'm very proud to be the chair of the board of Camosun College's Board of Governors. I'd like to begin by recognizing that Camosun is situated on the traditional lands of both the Lekwungen and the Wusanich people. We have been welcomed, and for that we are grateful. We're also grateful for the wisdom that has helped us implement Indigenous ways of knowing, being, relating, and doing into our programs. And that is a perfect segue and a framework for talking about Sherri Bell. So first of all, in terms of knowing, Sherri has always been a lifelong learner. She recently completed some courses from Harvard, and throughout her career, she's always looked for ways of either teaching or implementing ways of improving learning for students. When she was first hired to the school district in Victoria, she was assigned to a school in a lot of trouble. It was in the bottom 10% of academic results. Discipline was a huge problem. In fact, they weren't able to hold assemblies. Within a week, Sherri was holding assemblies, and within 2 years, the school is in the top 50th percentiles. In terms of being and relating, this is probably Sherri's greatest strengths. She is remarkable at building relationships. She has great relationships, much to Camosun's credit, with the ministry, Chamber of Commerce, UVic, Royal Roads. When she first came to Camosun, she met and traveled and developed a relationship with significant partners in our international programs, which has helped us grow and diversify those programs. She's been chair of the College Presidents Association. She's on the SciCam board. She's worked with the municipality and with the entire community. And most importantly, she has established excellent relationships with the Indigenous community. In terms of doing, Sherri would be the first to say it's been a team effort, but she surely has one of the highest and best work ethics I've ever seen anybody have. She does this because she loves her job. She has promoted excellence in teaching. I could list 100 things: applied learning, innovation lab, student services, EDI, the STRAT plan, one of the best ever, including all 39 of the Indigenous goals set. She helped us through COVID, providing a steady hand, and she provided very clear direction, even again, just a few days ago. 50th anniversary, wow, you could say so many things here, but it's in the CAM News, a whole long list of all of those wonderful things that happened there. You probably know that Lane Trotter is starting January 1st. He comes to us from the president of Langara with 28 years experience in the post-secondary system. Sherri has met with him a number of times to help with transition, and I've met with him to help give him an orientation to the board. And he's just recently completed the Telfin to Wilno Indigenous program at Camosun. Sherri, you have left an amazing legacy. The college is in great shape, has a culture of continuous improvement, respectful relationships, and my favorite, a pervasive culture of caring for students. Thank you for 6 great years. We wish you well. Over to you, Jeff and Sherri. Thank you.
Thank you, Monty. My name is Jeff Wilmshurst. If you haven't already met me, I'm the Vice President Partnerships here at Camosun, and I'm going to be your MC this afternoon as we fet Sherri in her last days here as president of Camosun College. As you know, the pandemic has made it very difficult for us to do the kinds of farewell, the kind of farewell that we really would have wanted to do for Sherri, with all of you being able to meet her in person and for you to get one of her famous hugs. So we've had to do sort of a second best, I guess, and that is to have it online. But we're grateful for that you've joined us today to do that. Today, we're going to ask a number of people to say some words about Sherri, including some of my vice president colleagues, and then we'll ask Sherri to say a few words. And then after that, we're going to open it up to the college community and ask people to share some of their memories as well as give Sherri an opportunity to have a few words. So I'll start off. I've got a couple of quick questions for Sherri. First question is, if you could go back in time, is there anything that you would do differently since you've become president here?
I don't think I would do anything differently. I think that I was really fortunate when I started that I had time to get into a rhythm because it was the summer when I started and I was poking my head into everybody's offices and getting to know people and starting to collect stories about this place very soon. And then we got right into a strategic planning process, which also allowed me to meet members of the community, talk to people, hear what was important. And, I think that, I don't know that I'd do anything different. I think that I was set up beautifully by that time. It was a gift. It really was. It was a gift to meet everyone and to spend time with people.
That's great. Now, we're both wearing a hearts and hands pin today.
Yes.
Yours is upside down.
Oh.
There we go. And for those of you who may not be aware, Carrie Newman, the wonderful Indigenous artist who's based here in Victoria, designed this pin for Camosun. And, it occurred to me, Sherri, that the hearts and hands pin is almost a metaphor for your presidency. How would you comment on that?
Clearly, I wasn't privy to the questions first. So I think it probably could be. The heart part is, I don't think that you can lead an institution like ours without heart. I also have a really deep belief that learning takes place only when you are emotionally engaged in the content and can reflect on the learning. That's when you get deep and meaningful learning. So I do believe in the heart of education and what we do in education. And the hands is important to me too. As if you know me, you know that I like to achieve things, and I think we all do. But if you only have a dream without the actions, you don't achieve anything and you don't move forward. So I think Carrie's hearts and hands is a metaphor for us all, to think about as we move forward in the work that we all do that is so important for our community and our college.
Fantastic. All right, I'm going to throw this over to Heather Cummings, who's Vice President of Student Experience here. And she's going to ask, or I'm going to ask her to ask questions of Sherri. And there she is. I think she's visible to you all. So first question, Heather, as a new Vice President, what have you learned about leadership from Sherri?
Sherri's been a fantastic mentor. She enjoys the work. She was commenting on that, but she finds fun and enjoyment in everything. There's room for laughter as we lead, particularly over this last number of years. And I mean, I've been here 2.25 years. So most of my time here has been through these last difficult months. And there's still laughter, there's still joy. And that resonates with me, and I will keep that lesson with me in my own career as we move forward, because we've needed that. We've needed to see the joy and the fun and the laughter over this last little bit more than ever. So that's the part that, that's what I've learned from Sherri, and I will miss most about her.
Do you have a question for Sherri?
Well, my question for Sherri is, if you were an animal, what animal would you be?
I'd actually like to ask people here what animal I'd be. That's what I'd be most interested in. I would be a dolphin. And the reason dolphins are very social animals, and they communicate, they're playful, and they always have a huge smile on their face. They move quickly, and I like the way they are social beings.
That's great. That's the animal I would have picked for you as well, Sherri.
Good. Thank you, Heather.
I would have picked beaver, but we won't go into that, into why we would have said that.
Hardworking, I'm sure.
Yes. And
Industrious.
bridge building.
Yeah,
all
good
those
job.
things. Thank you, Heather. And now we'll move over to John Boris, Vice President Education. So, John, do you have a question for Sherri?
Do I have a question for Sherri? Really, the questions that I have are, what are you going to miss most, Sherri?
Oh, that's easy, John. You. No, I will miss the people. I will definitely miss the people. This week has been great. I've had the chance to run into people that I haven't seen for almost a couple of years in some cases because of the pandemic. So, whether it's walking into the cafeteria or being out in front of the buildings, talking to faculty, staff, and students, that's what I think I'll miss the most. But I will miss the laughter too, and the camaraderie and the quick conversations.
Now,
Yeah.
John, I've got questions for you. What do you think Sherri's major accomplishments have been in her city?
Well, it's this week, I think it's that she's managed to, and I haven't been quite as successful at not shedding a few tears. So that's been a big accomplishment because, of course, for so many of us, we love Sherri, and the work we've been able to do together has been amazing. And I would say, the accomplishments range from, the list of accomplishments under the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, placing the importance that you have on Indigenous education and our response to communities has been incredibly powerful for the college. I think this is the first time I've worked under a strategic plan that actually means something and that it's about the values of the college. I think that's an enormous example of your hard work. I also think it's giving all of us permission to love what we do. The privilege to work at Camosun, you've lived that really, really, truly and authentically.
Thank you, John.
And is there anything that Sherri made you laugh? What was the moment that you laughed the most with Sherri?
Well, there's been a lot, and I won't tell the story about Joan Yates' picture that made Sherri and I laugh.
Joan Yates, I think, is on today. So yeah,
She is.
Yeah.
I know I considered whether or not I value my life or not when I even raised that. But from handing out ice cream to working on projects together and laughing at goofy things to using Black humor when we're frustrated, Sherri and I have shared a lot of laughs. I think one of the images on today's slideshow was of Sherri and I at Korean Day. And Sherri just moved into the role of Korean royalty with such ease. So I had a very good time laughing at her over that as well. So I have a list a mile long, Jeff.
I can add something here. I think what I like doing, and John's such a good sport, as are all of the team that I work with, just finding ways of kind of poking fun at each other in a really lighthearted, genuinely caring way. But yeah, my sarcasm is never lost on John.
Sherri has fired me 684 times.
Yeah.
And it keeps coming back.
And it's been very unsuccessful.
Yeah. Totally unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sherri.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, John.
So I'd like to share a story that I have of my time with Sherri. So Sherri and I have had the opportunity to travel a bit, visiting our partners overseas. And I have many, many stories from those times, including some of the shopping that we've done together. But the story that I want to really recount is the time that we were in India and we were at a women's college. And this illustrates Sherri's ability, I think, to function in an international environment, which means that you really have to be kind of flexible and deal with what comes at you at the moment. And the time I'm thinking of is we were sort of informed out of the blue that there would be a special ceremony it was kind of a
It
graduation.
was pre-graduation, some sort of special assembly where,
Yeah. So Sherri was now the guest speaker, and had to essentially get up in front of an auditorium full of students and say something meaningful, which you did a really good job of, and it's really indicative of the kind of thing that you were able to do. But what I also remember about that moment is that Sherri was carrying it seems to me it was a very bright pink purse, and the person who was handed the purse and had to hold the purse for the entire event was moi. Which goes to show the kinds of things you have to do on international trips when you're with the president. So that's a little memory I have. Okay, so I think it's time for you, Sherri, to have to say a few words.
okay, I want to clarify something about that story. Because, you know, the international trips are interesting. They are not what people think. They're a lot of work and you never know what's going to happen next. And the highlight from that women's university that we spent time at was getting a chance to talk to these beautiful young women who were about to graduate in all of their colorful saris. And there I was as the North American woman in my high heel skirt and jacket. And they were just so filled with hope and just this beautiful personalities, you know, just everywhere. So I'm talking to a few of them after, and it was one of those impromptu, you don't know what you're going to say, but because it was a women's school, it was actually easy for me to talk about women. And after we were having a chat, one of the young women said to me, that was a really good speech. Do you think we could get a copy of it? Had no clue. Even what I said, I know I did talk about women in leadership, but they were just so lovely. And I think that's the part that is so wonderful about students around the world, whether it's in China or India or in the United States, Canada. There's such hope, and that's what we do in our business. And I think we are all so privileged to do the kind of work we do. And no matter what you do at the college, we are all doing that for students. And in a community college, in a community like we have, giving students access to post-secondary education is, I don't think there's another profession that could be more important to be changing lives. And I have had 40 years in education. Started teaching at 21, and I haven't stopped in one way or another, being in education. And it's just, I don't know that I will be able to stop. I'll be volunteering in some way, I'm sure. But this last 6.5 years at Camosun has definitely been the highlight of my entire career. Because I'm from the community, I thought I knew what Camosun did. I didn't until I got here and I met the people and I saw the lives that were changed, and I collected the stories of our students that I could share everywhere, because we do make such a difference. And, you know, our students go on to achieve degrees and post degrees here or go on in other places. And in catching up with some of the students after they've left here that recognize me, they talk about you. That's what they do. They talk about the people that work here and who made a difference, and how the person that did one little thing that you don't even know you did, it made such a difference. So I think I want to just say thank you. I wish we could have had some time to celebrate together in person. Normally we do at the holiday party, and that couldn't happen this year either. But we've been through a lot together in the last couple of years. And, you know, when I made the decision to retire, I thought it was a good time for the college because the strategic plan was ending, and that would give a new president a chance to do what I did, which was get out there and talk to people. I also thought getting through the 50th and perhaps the pandemic, but that seems to keep going, would be good. And tomorrow's my last day, and I'm so glad that I can't see you all, but I know there are people out there that came to join us. And I just want to say a huge thank you to you for what you do, because you really do make a difference. And I am going to miss everyone and this place tremendously. So thank you all.
Thank you, Sherri. Now we're going to invite the college community to ask Sherri any questions that they may have, or share some thoughts or comments or messages for Sherri via the chat function. And I know that I'm not sure, is it Rodney that are you going to do yeah, there you are, Rodney, I see you. You're going to bring up the folks as they come up, is that right?
Yeah, as you know, we've got a number of people who asked to share some comments, thoughts, ask maybe a question. Yeah. And we've got a few people lined up in advance. And if anyone wants to come on camera or something in the chat, just go ahead. We do have the ability to turn people who are watching it and to bring them on camera. Just turn on your camera, you'll get a message. So we just want to confirm who we have. Is Keith available, or who are we going to go to first?
Yeah, we've got Keith on the list here. Keith, there you are. I see him.
Yeah, so if we could maybe just turn Keith's camera on and
unmute Keith. Now, yeah. I want to mention to everybody that we also have the ability to turn your camera off and unmute and to mute you. So keep it beautiful, but keep it short.
Okay, well, thank you for the opportunity. Just those folks that don't know me, I'm the QP 2081 president for the local here with 700 members, and I'm a 36-year employee as well. And I've got 3 things that I wanted to mention, but having watched the picture montage, I have 4 things I want to mention. So I'm going to start with the picture montage. And really, the picture montage, I think, showed it all. It showed your true pride, your compassion, your friendship that you show to the college community. And those pictures were well shot, and they were well kept, and they came across really nice. So the points I wanted to make, so I just want to say on behalf of the QP 2081 executive and the membership, we wish you well and all the best in your retirement. Second, Sherri, your respect and inclusion of unions has not been seen in my time as a union representative, particularly your monthly meetings when COVID first hit, going back to March of 2020. While we may not agree on everything, when there is common ground, there is much more that can be achieved, and we did very well during that period of time, especially when things were not looking very good, and we worked together to come out of that to get our first students back into the buildings towards the end of June of 2020. And then finally, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to get to know you. I'm wearing my CCAN shirt today, my green shirt, and that was probably one of the highlights that I think we had, the Green Army. We got lots of great compliments from all the institutions and colleges across Canada for probably having the best set of volunteers that has been. And I think that from your leadership sort of down and everybody, we followed in behind your enthusiasm, and I think that what made the team very good. And then personally, I just can wish you nothing but the best in your future, and maybe we'll see you out in one of the campgrounds. So once again, thank you very much, Sherri. I've really enjoyed your leadership and your company and your friendship. Sincerely, thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
All right, I see Cynthia Smith.
We've got Cynthia's lined up and ready to go.
Hi, Sherri. I wanted to share a couple of memories I have of you. And I was recently reading in Academica that presidential search teams look for a selection of qualities, including being able to work quickly. And here's a story I'd never told before. So after your first presentation to SLC, before you were hired, I was shopping at the Bay, and I saw you a few clothing racks over from me. You're going from rack to rack, and you're picking up dresses and throwing them over your arm. And so I made my way to the lineup at the change rooms. And I thought, oh, what do I do if she stands in line behind me? Do I introduce myself? Do I, say who I am? Well, you never appeared. I think you must have just gone and bought whatever you picked up. And, you know, that was a foreshadowing of things to come. You are decisive and confident in your decisions and choices. And I think that was also exemplified, those who remember the opening of the Center for Trades, Education and Innovation. It showed not just that you're quick, but you're competitive. So I don't know if you remember at the ribbon opening. So Sherri was standing beside the minister and she had her scissors and she was looking at everybody and she wanted to be first to get her scissors through the ribbon, but the minister actually beat her. And you had a look of surprise and indignation when you realized you weren't the first one through the ribbon. And something else about you, you know, in challenging meetings or when faced with a question, you're often the first person to act. You often hold up your finger and say, I know, I have an idea. How about? So, you know, you've been such a strong leader that way. And another quality that they indicated of a president is connecting with community. And I saw firsthand how you don't just connect, you nurture relationships. You knew so many of the health campaign members and potential funders for the Center for Health and Wellness, including the campaign chair, going back to your days as a principal. And those relationships that you nurtured have served us so well. So you live all these qualities and other leadership qualities in spades, and relationships are the heart of Camosun. And Sherri, you have the biggest heart. We've been so fortunate to have you as our leader. Thank you. And I wish you all the best in the next stages of your journey. And I hope to see you on the calls.
Thank you, Cynthia.
And
Well,
we
have Rin Michelle lined up, I think.
we do, that is correct. We'll just put her live.
You're emerging there in the.
Hello, I even got my my mic on. Hi, Sherri. I'm going to try not to cry. So I just wanted to just say a deep-hearted thank you for everything that you've done for the college. And you know, there's a lot of leaders that I really respect, and you fall among them for sure. And Nella Nelson always used to say, you have to walk the talk. And you walk the talk. You're willing to, whether it's John already referred to you, scooping ice cream at CamFest, or sitting in circle with a bunch of people and being extremely vulnerable during Talthing Tehuelna, and just really being there as a part of the community. It's you've always been there. And another tenet of that I learned from you know, Indigenous teachings is respect. And when I had to teach grade 8 students what respect meant, I was taught to teach them to say it's what you pay attention to. And you pay attention to all of us as employees and all of the students. Sorry, I said I wasn't going to do this. You respect us as individuals and as a community. So thank you for that. Another thing that was always taught by Butch and Skipper is a really foundational piece in Songhe's culture, and is recognition and acknowledgement. And you just know, you know so many of our names, and you're so approachable, and you're like a favorite teacher. You have there's like, everybody talks about your vitality, but there's a big warmth as well that just draws, jeez. Draws people in. I was going to get some sherry or something. I should have done that. Just that warmth and vitality that draws people in. And so those are walking the talk, demonstrating respect, recognition, and acknowledgement. Such a huge part of strong leadership and being a good person. The most important thing is to be a good person, and you're also fun. And you know, you came whipping. I won't mention the person on SLC who it was, but I was standing out in the courtyard out at Interurban, and all of a sudden I saw somebody come out of the campus center and walk a few steps and then stop and turn around and go back. And it was like, that was weird. I guess she forgot something. And the next thing I know, Sherri comes whipping around the corner in a big golf cart with jingle bells playing, and Jeff's in there in a funny hat. And so it's like jingle, and then everybody say, hey, come on over here and sing Christmas carols with us. So I'm like, okay. So I get in and we're singing jingle bells and we're having a blast. And then we go around twice. And then Jason comes up, pulls up beside us when we stopped, and he's like, Sherri, could you slow down a little bit? Because we're trying to get beside you to take picture of, like, to get video. It looks better that way. And you're like, okay, sure. And then we take off again, and you look over at me and you're like, I like to go fast. You certainly do. I mean, I met you at Pacal's one day and I was going down and you were going up, and you were going faster than me going down. And you just moved indigenization and applied learning forward in such a great way. I just want to thank you for being so encouraging and supportive of me and of the work that's being done. And thank you for loving the college as much as we do. And
Thank
we
you.
will miss you. We'll miss
Thank
you.
you so much, Corinne.
Thank you.
We'll see you hiking.
Yeah, see you up there.
Thanks, Corinne. Rodney, who do we got?
Just for checking, Steve, I think just
Steve Walker Duncan. I think I see his smiling
Yeah.
face.
Oh, he's on a beach.
Looks like he's
I'm on a beach. I'm on a beach in the Galapagos. Those
Oh.
are sea lions behind me. This was, I don't know, 9 years ago. Sherri, I don't know what to say. I mean, it hasn't already been said, and all the thoughts and good wishes that we all send you on your way with. You absolutely have been, you've changed lives here without a doubt. You've lived and breathed the whole change, everything moniker of the college, and we will be forever grateful for that. I remember the first time I met you, it was in the kitchen over at the behind the cafeteria. And obviously we knew the new president was here and they were sort of making their rounds, and you came in and it was just like you belonged, and you said, we're so welcoming and easy to talk to. And I knew right there and then we would get along famously. And I think we have done over the years, everything from doing cooking classes or cooking demonstrations at the market day to being in the food truck. I mean, the first post-secondary institution in Western Canada to have a food truck. And the launch of that was just such great fun. Apart from anything else, we got to eat great food as well. I was curious to hear about the fashion statements. I remember my wife coming home one day when she worked at the place uptown, said, I think I met your president today. Same thing. She came in, she grabbed some stuff and she was gone. It was like she knew exactly what she wanted, in and out. And to this day, she still talks very, very fondly about you. But I think my favorite story of yours, Sherri, is one that you shared with us a long time ago when you'd been here for 2 years. I remember specifically you said you've been the president for 2 years and you were teaching a class over here in CBA, and somebody stopped you and said, hey, how are you? And you didn't have the heart to tell them that you were lost, walking round and round in circles in CBA.
We've all been there, Steve.
Yeah.
Sherri, all the very, very best, and the drill. Nobody really retires from Camosun. We'll cross paths again.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you for showing me how to cut onions properly. I think of you every time I cut an onion.
Are you telling me I make you cry?
You make me cry.
Oh. Take
Thanks,
care.
Steve.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, I think I see Nicole Kilburn up there in my screen.
Nicole's mic and video should be coming on momentarily.
All righty.
There.
There she is.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Sherri.
Hi, Nicole.
I wanted to share a story that I think says a lot about your leadership style. And it was the first story that came to mind for me when I was thinking about you. So in the spring of 2016, you'd been around for what, just less than a year, maybe? I hosted Festival with my anthropology of food students. It was the second time that we'd had this public anthropology event on campus. So there was absolutely no way that anybody could be surprised by the event. It was a little bit of a surprise the first time around, I think. So anyway, there were no surprises. And in 2016, it was financed by a Board of Governors Creativity and Innovation Award. So it only seemed right to invite the Board of Governors, and Board of Governors was having a meeting on campus that night. So I think it was very difficult to say no. So anyway, you arrived, Sherri, and you circulated through the second floor of the Wilna Thomas building, where my students had all these different booths. So, you know, the history of insect eating amongst humans and nutritional profiles, sustainable, you know, reasons why we should be considering insect protein from a sustainability perspective. And you spent a huge amount of time connecting directly with students. And I'm glad I have an opportunity to tell you how much that meant to them. It made them feel like what they were doing was valuable and really interesting. And I really think that your interest really enriched their learning experience, which I appreciate as an educator. Now, there were lots of edible teaching aids on offer, and I think, Sherri, that you tried all of them. So there were 5 different species in both like invisible format, so, you know, ground up and hidden in a cookie, to very visible, like the mealworm taco. And you were a very, very good sport. So I can see your face right now, but that face was not on display at the event. And you put a smile on your face, and you shared the experience on social media, which was pretty cool. And I think that it really says a lot about you as a leader. And you are really modeling what this institution is all about in terms of learning and engaged learning. So I really echo what Karine said about walking the talk. Sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zones to be able to learn new things and think about new things. That's what we are asking our students to do. And that's exactly what you offered as a style of leadership. And I've always really appreciated your genuine curiosity and your willingness and eagerness to learn and grow for yourself, but also alongside us, right? And to support that for ourselves and for students, and to not complain about getting cricket legs stuck in your teeth. So I will also say that, you know, I'm personally going to really miss you at college events. I hope that you'll come back to visit. And I give you a pass. If you come to Festival next time, you only have to eat you only have to eat the stuff that you want. So congratulations. And I've really enjoyed working with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole. Hey, I see Ted Pennell up there. Ted, do you have a few words to say?
I think he's our IT specialist, and he's on
currently
mute.
muted.
And you're still muted.
Let's see if Ted can fix this.
How about now?
Ah.
Yeah. It's like if you have a tech problem, don't call me. So I've had the privilege of working with Sherri for, I think it's been over 15 years. And I've learned so much from you, Sherri. When I think about Sherri, the phrase servant leadership comes to mind. Servant leadership is a philosophy and a set of practices that enriches the lives of individuals. It builds better organizations and ultimately creates more and a just, caring world. Sherri, you've committed your professional life to serve within the institution of public education. You speak about the value of education and how it enriches the lives of everyone. As Canadians, we're familiar with and cherish the poem by John McCrae in Flanders Fields. Mm-hmm. To you from failing hands, we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. We are part of something much bigger than any one person. In education, we share that calling of stewardship. When I was at the school board, I ran across an old directory and it was from 1991. And I believe, Sherri, you were in that book. And it just reminded me that there were stewards before us who faithfully served the students and the teachers and staff within public education, and there will continue to be faithful stewards after us. For 40 years, you have been carrying this torch and ensuring that the lives of those within public education have been enriched and seeing destinies fulfilled. In order for you to receive my gift today, to you, I need you to do something. I need you to close your eyes.
Okay, they're closed.
Close your eyes, Sherri. Okay, we are going to go for a walk. All right, and we're walking down a long, narrow hallway. And at the end of the hallway is this dull brown door. So we walk up to the door, and I open the door, and you walk through it. And you find yourself on a stage facing a grand auditorium filled with people. Everyone is standing, smiling, and no one is making a sound. And as you quickly scan through the crowd, you begin to see faces that you recognize. After a long pause, I let you know that everyone in this auditorium is either a past student of yours, a teacher, an instructor, someone you worked with, an administrator that you mentored, or a caring community that you've influenced.
Opening my eyes.
The audience erupts in applause. I wish you a long and happy retirement. And when life begins to slow down, I want you to remember this auditorium filled with people of the lives that you've touched and impacted. All the best to you, Sherri. We will miss you dearly.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah.
No, you're going to win the award, Ted.
There is no
You
award.
made her cry.
We have another, we've got Debbie Halady. If we can bring her on the screen and turn on her mic.
I don't think
Debbie?
I'll make you cry, Sherri.
Good.
But, I could try. I did want to come and thank you on behalf of the School of Arts and Science for all of the support, all of the care that you have given to our school, our students, all of the people who work here with us. You always show up when we ask you. You show such support to our programs, our disciplines. You donate socks. You buy student art, and you hang it in the executive area where everybody can admire it and see it. And this all means so much to us. I also wanted to recognize, as many have done before me, you and your leadership. You've shown not only our college community, but our local community, our international partners, that a strong, effective leader can also be kind, can also be compassionate, and can also be a woman. And this should come as no surprise to anybody in 2021, but yet it still does sometimes. I recall not long ago, a student made an appointment to come and see me and talk about a concern, and he was shown into my office, and I sat at the little round table in my office with him, and I started to talk to him, and he said, "I think we should stop until the dean gets here, don't you?" It never entered his mind that the leader of a school could be a woman. He thought I was the secretary, there to take notes for the dean. It was an interesting moment for him, and I have to say I quite enjoyed it myself. So thank you for being a role model for women and girls to show what can be achieved, and an example to all of us of how to lead with a good heart in a good way. We are going to miss you, Sherri. Have an absolutely fantastic, long, productive, healthy, active, fun-filled retirement. You certainly deserve it.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you.
And our next speaker, we're going to bring up your camera, is Sikwan Wabaska. So hopefully turn on, your mic should be on, and
my mic is on, my video is on. Hello, everybody. Hi, Sherri. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Sikwan.
I was having a meal out with my good friend Ron Rice recently, and he told me a story that I would like one or both of you to confirm or deny. Was there a 10,000 person parade in your honor in the Philippines?
Tell
us that story.
Okay, that you were there too.
I was there. It was all a shock.
It was a shock. So if you saw the photographs at the beginning, there were some photographs of that event. It was, I'll tell the short version of it. Christian was ill and couldn't go to the Philippines with me. There was supposed to be the two of us. And he said to Jeff, yeah, you're going to meet with the city council in just a suburb of Manila. And they just want to know about Canadian colleges. So we said, sure. And someone came to pick us up and we were in the van and we were moving through really heavy traffic. And we looked behind and I said, Jeff, there's motorcycles all around us and we're going the wrong way on the street. And we were. We had a police escort. And I said, who do they think we are? Like, who do they think we are? Anyway, we get to this place and we thought we were at City Hall, open the van doors and all the mayor and council are there. And we look down the street and there are children and adults with Camosun College colors, flags and balloons. And so we still don't know what's going on. And we keep walking and smiling and waving and we don't know what's happening. And then we go into this auditorium. And if you saw the photographs, it was the fellows in the white uniforms with swords. We went under the swords, walk into the room, and it is packed with people. And there's the largest stage I've ever seen in my life, including really good concerts, with the biggest Canadian flag and the biggest Filipino flag. And we get on the stage and Jeff and I are there with a cast of thousands.
But I have to tell you one piece of this. As we're walking down and there's hundreds of people cheering and waving Canadian flags, Sequan, Sherri looks at me and she goes, do you think I'm going to need to give a speech?
And he said, yeah. So then I thought I better pay attention because I don't know what city we're in because it's not Manila. Don't know the name of it. Cannot remember the name of the mayor because I thought we were just going into a meeting. So, you kind of listen for things and eventually I was given a mic and had to say, to all these students that were there, how lucky they were to have a great city and a fabulous mayor who focused on education without ever using a name. and the MC knew everything about Camosun, absolutely everything. He talked about our student population and our programs, and I still don't have a clue why the fanfare. And as it turned out, they didn't want to become a Canadian college. They ended up going in a different direction. So, but it was one of the single most bizarre things in my career. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you for that story. It's lovely. I thought other people might enjoy hearing it.
Thanks, Sequan.
Our next speaker is Janice Simcoe. We've got three more registered speakers and a couple more. So just so people are cognizant of the runtime.
Okay, and mine is quite short there, Sherri. Hi, I was thinking about many, many wonderful times that I got to walk with you and observe you and learn from you and have fun with you. And the day that I was wanting to bring forward is the day that we launched the canoe. And so as I was thinking about that hot, beautiful day, this big, beautiful, clean canoe, all of us sort of emerging from a COVID cocoon, and how glorious the sky and the water were that day. And I was thinking about, we can learn so much, think so much about the meaning of that, and how you have been an amazing skipper for the big canoe that we call Camosun. And I was thinking about what good skippers do is you study the charts before we leave the shore. You pay attention to the water monsters and keep everybody in the canoe safe. You inspire us to keep going when we don't want to, and you tell us to rest when we can. And you get us to our destination. And then instead of taking all the credit, you step back and let the sun shine on everybody. It's been a wonderful, wonderful long paddle with you, Sherri. Short paddle too. 6 years isn't very long, and yet it's an eternity, and you've made such a difference. And of the thing that I want to acknowledge you for and thank you for today is for institutionalizing all of the work around Orange Shirt Day, the Hearts and Hands pin, which in addition to this representing you, this also represents having brave conversations, which you have done many, many times. So you've really helped change the culture of Camosun for the better, and I know it's going to stay. So, Chimigwecho Gamakwe. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, my teacher and mentor. Thank you.
And next we have Sybil Harrison. Sybil, your mic and camera should be on.
Hello, Sherri. Hello, Jeff. Hello, everybody. I thought maybe it looks like I've been disabled to share my screen, because I'd hoped to share my screen, because the last couple of days I was asked if I wanted to participate, and I said, absolutely, I want to say something for Sherri. But then I didn't know what to say. This is a really difficult moment. So people who know me, when I don't know what to say, I wander around a library and magic happens. Off jump the shelves a bunch of books that the titles describe you and what the incredible contribution you've made, not just to Camosun, but to the school district and everywhere you've gone. So I've popped into the chat, and anybody who wants to follow along, there is a list. So starting at the top, the first book I just magically saw was The Art of Caring Leadership. As people have said, there's no better title that describes you. The next book I saw is one that was called I See You, and that's what you do. You really see people. The next book was called Possible Anthropology, Methods for Uneasy Times. Again, perfect title for these COVID years. Then, again, magic. The next book I saw, Endure, Mind, Body, and the Curiously Elastic Limits of Human Performance. You've stretched those elastic limits of human performance, absolutely. Then one of my favorite novels, Little Fires Everywhere. And I think that's what you've done as a president, put out all those little fires. Then I know you're an educator, you care deeply about children and their growth as young students. And the next book I saw, beautiful title, Illuminating Care, Pedagogy and the Practice of Care. Then magically, again, I see the next book, Being Human, and that's who you are. You bring your full self and who you are to everything you do. Then I saw, and I thought it was sort of cool, A History of Hip Hop North of the 49th Parallel. And the title of that book is We Still Here. So after all of this, we still here. And we still here for you, Sherri, and we still here for you when you want to come back. And then I came across this book, and I get a bit emotional about it. Off jumped the shelf at me was Bell Hooks' book, All About Love. And I think people know Bell Hooks passed away yesterday, which is amazing. A phenomenal feminist, an incredible thinker. And her book, All About Love, I think says it all. And then the final book I saw was called Happy People Read and Drink Coffee. So that's what I wish for you for your retirement. Read and drink coffee. Love you, Sherri.
Beautiful. Look
Thank
forward
you,
to more
Sybil.
book lists.
And our last speaker, by no means least, and apologies, I know there's a few people who wanted to speak, and we did promise a hard out at 4 o'clock, but last but by no means least, a friend of mine and a mentor, Joni Yates.
Well, what can you say about a college president who throws on a feather boa and disco dances down Government Street? Given the prestige of the presidential loftiness, you might wonder about that, but Sherri, that's you. If you were there, folks, if anybody is here, that was Pride Parade where we could actually do Pride Parades. Let's hope we see that back. And Sherri, you were there not only because it was a ton of fun, and it really was a lot of fun, but it's about you supporting students, supporting the college community and the broader community, and saying something really important in terms of Victoria's leadership. And this is so core to who you are. You know Victoria incredibly well, but what you did was you got us back to our roots. You got us back to being with people and connecting with community in a profound way. You got us You motivated and educated us on issues that we needed to think about our relationship within the Indigenous communities. A tough way. We've got lots to do, but you started that off. You did enormous work in terms of equity, diversity, and inclusion, and made that a promise to the college community. I worked with you on sexual misconduct, important issues for people who are vulnerable and who need us to lead. And you did that with heart and soul. You also get process, you get policy, you get what needs to happen. And in my role, former role as VP Student Experience, you had my back when I was trying to push some of these things forward, and I had yours because you had the vision and leadership to move us along. So I think your impact is so profound, and I want to thank you so much for that. So much for that. You also, in terms of community, brought community into the college. The success of fundraising, Jeff, through your work and others for buildings such as health and the trades building could not have happened without a Sherri. I think you were absolutely integral to bringing people along and sharing the vision of what we were and what we wanted to be. We were a well-kept secret, and you brought that forward. Now, before I have anyone think that Ms. Bell walks on water, there are some things I will not miss about you, Sherri. Only a few. One, I won't miss those 5 a.m. calls about, are we going to close the campus because of snow? Remember those?
Yeah.
I think you got to have one snow day.
I have
Let's
one
hope for
day
snow
left.
tomorrow.
No. Stop.
And you know, given COVID, all way more important and bigger issues have emerged than snow, absolutely. But oh, I was always hoping with Ian Toll that we would get one snow day to watch Netflix and be able to address that 5 a.m. start. And to John's reference earlier, I won't miss someone taking snaps of me in the back seat of John's car as we're driving back from. And Sherri, I swear to goodness, you waited for the best bit of drool to be coming out of my mouth as I was napping and then showed the world. Oh, thank you, Sherri. Thank you so much. Sherri, your support and leadership and friendship has meant the absolute world to me. And I think for me, at the end of the day, you came into the college and shared a passion that I've always had about Camosun, and that is about who we are and who we serve. And I thank you so much for reigniting the context of community in community college. I think that has been your gift to us. And I'm so, so, so grateful that you brought that back. We needed it and we will need it again, but you put community back into community college. So thank you. And much love to you and happy retirement.
Thank you. I think, Roddy, I think that's it, right?
That's it from the chat. We're just over 4 o'clock. I know Linnell, Al wanted to speak, but we did want to hear something. Wanted you to wrap it up, and then we'll turn to the 50th anniversary video.
Super. So I'm going to say one last thing, and there's some formal words on here, Sherri, but I'm just going to say we love you. And on behalf of my colleagues in CET, we're going to miss you very much. And you've been a friend and a mentor to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. And a huge thank you to everyone that organized this virtual event. Thanks to the MC, all of the speakers, to our amazing board chair, Monty Bryant, who hired me 26 years ago to the school district, and I'm working for him again as I finish my career. Thank you, Monty. And I think if I can just say one last thing, the word Camosun, of course, we all know means where different waters meet and are transformed. And I think I certainly have been transformed by all of our waters meeting. And I know you have too with the work that you all do. So thank you and take care. And I will see you probably in the coffee shop at Wilma Thomas when it opens. That's my threat. Thank you so much for making the day special. Bye, everyone. Have a happy holiday.
I don't really know where I'll be tomorrow, based on yesterday. But I don't really mind. I got so much time to figure it out anyway. No need to pressure me. I do what I please. I work better on my own. At least that's what I've been told. It's been a long, hard road, but now I'm on my feet.